Hi there, Steve Arterburn here, and welcome on this Wednesday of Holy Week. We're talking about, just for a few minutes, the fact that this is known as Spy Wednesday. This is the day that Judas betrayed Jesus. And when you think about it, we always really wonder how could a man that lived and worked with Jesus betray him. But that's easier to do than to ask this question. How do we betray Jesus every day? Are we following his guidelines? Are we obeying him in the face of temptation? Very, very important questions for us to be asking ourselves and answering on this Holy Week, this day before Good Friday when Jesus is crucified. How do I betray Christ? And perhaps, maybe, it would motivate me to do some things differently and connect with some people that could help me. Well, I'm going to talk to you about fear a little bit, and these are scary times. Edgar Friedenberg said this: what we must decide is perhaps how we are valuable rather than how valuable we are. You understand that? How we're valuable. In what way can we use our strengths, our gifts, to be the most valuable rather than to be asking just how valuable we are, how many assets that we have. Now, there is a fear of like a virus or getting sick. There are also a lot of other fears that kind of get enhanced when something like that comes about, such as the fear of failure or fear of success. They're very, very common fears that lead to procrastination. And anytime you undertake a task, of course, you're going to risk failure, and you might even succeed. And you may find that life is more comfortable just putting it off and staying the same, other than going down the slopes of failure or up the mountain to success. And there's some perceived risk that failure might bring. And if you don't ever identify those, you might never deal with those perceived risks. For instance, my self-esteem might be damaged. People might put me down. I might put myself down. I might lose my job if I take a risk and do something great. I might lose my status with other people. Those are some common fears. And then there are also some risk. I might think about people resenting me if I'm successful, or my relationships might change, or people might have expectations of me that I can't fulfill. And so I might really be uncomfortable with the thought of succeeding. So out of fear, I procrastinate. I just want to invite you to name that fear. Whenever we are struggling with something, one of the first things to do is to see it, and for us to be able to name it and deal with it, especially in the area of fear. Well, if you're bored, if you don't know what to do, here's some things to do when you don't know what to do. You can order the whole list. 1, connect with everybody you possibly can. 2, maybe clean out your closet, do something good for yourself. Take this time when you've got some extra time to do some really great stuff around the house, clean out some things. Maybe you've got clothes, as you consider them, somebody else would do better with those clothes than you. And so it's not a matter of, well, I don't like it anymore, I don't wear it anymore. Maybe it's a matter of, if I gave this to Goodwill, maybe they'd find somebody that could use these clothes much better than I can. So just encourage you in that area to do something that you normally wouldn't have time to do, but it could be so valuable to you. Get the house decluttered, the closet cleaned out, whatever it is, maybe it'll make a difference. And then finally, I want to read to you from the Restoration Bible. Now, this Bible is free to you. If you'd like a copy, all you have to do is send me your address to stevesocial@newlife.com. Get it to you. Love for you to have it. But in the Restore acronym, R stands for rest and reflection. And admitting powerless is the focus of today's devotional reading. And it has a title of Desires and Struggles. Here are the words of Paul very famous words right out of Romans 7. For I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my flesh. For the desire to do what is good is with me, but there is no ability to do it. I do not do the good that I want to do, but I practice the evil that I do not want to do. Romans 7, 18 and 19. Here is this great saint saying to us the very thing I want to do, I can't do it. That gives me encouragement. It says, maybe I'm not so weak after all. Maybe weakness is the human condition. And the big question is, what am I going to do with that? So let me read the devotional. Faith in Jesus solves our biggest spiritual problem, the need for forgiveness and new life. But that new life comes with new struggles. Just because we are under new management doesn't mean we've yet learned new habits. Even though we have God's indwelling of the Spirit prompting us to live in new ways, our minds are not yet fully renewed. We can see Romans 12:2 for that. The result is what Paul describes here as a fierce internal tug of war. Our old unredeemed nature violently resists the new life of the Spirit. One moment we're reading the Bible and loving it. The next moment we're feeling a strong pull to engage in sinful thoughts and behaviors. At such times, we should pause and reflect, asking, what is it I most deeply want? The monetary pleasure of a selfish action guaranteed to leave me feeling empty and guilty and full of regret? Or do I want a life that's pleasing to God? After admitting that we can't do this on our own, the next step is to submit to God. Ask Him to give us the desire and power to do life His way. What a great prayer when we take the time to ask God to, essentially, just ask Him to give us the desire. Maybe we don't have it. Don't have enough of it to make a change, so we pray for desire. Now that came out of the Restoration Bible, and I would love to send you a free copy. It's a big one, it's a beauty, and it's helpful. It's devotional and study. I pray that you have a blessed day today. And if you have any questions, if we can help you in any way, you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. And if you leave a reply here, I'm going to read that reply. I do them every day. All right, God bless you. See you next time. And if I don't see you between now and then, happy Easter to you.